Good morning, Rick. How you doing?
Good morning. I look like the Gerber baby, I think.
You do. Were you?
A bit.
Have you ever done ads? Were you ever an actor on an ad?
Yeah. One was about being physically fit and urine testing, I think, to see your weight or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was married in that spot. Yeah, had to wear a ring. Married to a woman.
Oh, so you were an adult. I was talking about baby stuff, like baby Gerber.
Oh, no. When I was a baby, I wasn't that cute, probably. I wore glasses at 3 years old.
Oh, wow. Well, anyways, welcome to
How about you?
No,
welcome.
I've never been in an ad, no.
Oh, I thought it was a lead-in for your announcement. So, yeah, welcome to our...
Side dish.
Side dish. Yeah. Happy day. What's the weather like?
Side dish on it. We got to remember the name. Side dish on Age to Perfection. By the way, this is a new microphone.
Oh, I see it. It's very spacey.
Well, it's called a Snowball, and it's not as high end as the one I have in the city. But the headset just was. I wanted something a little bit higher quality. It wasn't very expensive, but it's called a Snowball, and it's used by a lot of people, and we'll find out how it sounds. But I also like the way it looks. It's really cool. It's like a little bowling ball, like a little
very
eye.
Space age. Yeah, I like it. Well, yeah, you mentioned New York not being there, so you must be in New Jersey, and you mentioned Snowball, and I was saying, is it cold?
It is very cold. That's why That's why you see me in this room, this red room. It's our dining room out here in the country in Jersey. I was going to do it outside as my last outdoor podcast, but the wind is blowing, and I thought the mic would pick up the wind. And it's cold, man. Fall is. It's chilly, and in the almanac says it's going to be a really cold winter again. We had a really cold winter last year, so we might be in for one this year.
Yeah, but they say the global warming people are all saying, oh, my hottest temperatures in years, September record high, October record high, something like that. So, yeah, now maybe we'll go do the extreme cold, but we'll make it through.
Yes.
We'll survive. Hey, Mark, I can't believe I live like 5 minutes from Texas. All this stuff going on in Texas, this voter law with SCOTUS and Ebola, all this stuff happening just moments from my house. Kind of wild. You want to come visit me?
SCOTUS? Is that near Wisconsin?
SCOTUS.
Is that like South Wisconsin, Wisconsin?
Wisconsin. No, this Texas voter law, I just got to mention it briefly. It's not really one of my main topics, but kind of got me riled up, and actually to the point that a friend commented on my Facebook announcement about it. So I wrote something from Bader's Dissension, which you saw, and my friend wrote back and was in non-agreement with me. So I said, taking a lesson from you, fuck it. Deleted his comment because I didn't agree with it.
Yeah, man, I delete him and ban him now, but that's a topic for another day.
Well, yeah, this is someone I used to do business with him. I don't anymore, so I don't care so much.
No, I'm all about kindness. Like I said to a couple friends here when this happened on the Facebook, I'm not going to go into it, but I said, kindness, motherfuckers, that's all I'm asking for.
Gentleness. Yeah, I agree. But
on the voter ID, I got to weigh in on the voter ID law because I noticed, as with most of these, one of the accepted forms of ID that these people keep pushing, ALEC is behind it, and the NRA is a gun license. So you can't show up with a student ID, but you can show up with your gun license. It's like that's always an acceptable form of ID, which I think is just creepy. And what is that about, man? Come on.
Well, that's what I posted about, and this guy's like, well, student IDs aren't really officially national IDs.
Well, neither is a gun license. That's not a national ID.
But apparently it ties in with it because you can't get a gun license unless you're a true American that holds a license, whereas your college ID, you could be Quan Lang Qing or something from China. I don't know what their fear and concerns are, but what's your first topic of the day, Mark?
Well, it's going to be we got another czar. Americans love the word czar. We had a drug czar. We had a bird flu czar, and now we've got an Ebola czar. I don't know where this comes from. I mean, I know that it started probably with the drug czar, but enough already. Czars were horrible people. And Putin is a czar or a wannabe czar. I don't know where it comes from, but I just find it really annoying. Like, an expert, call them something, but don't call them a czar. And the media, of course, the media is so sheepish and stupid in this country. I'm always complaining about the media, and Matt Lauer leads the way. But now we have a drug czar. Isn't that something like we really need?
Yeah, I think he's like the morning news czar, or so he thinks. Yeah, I don't know, but Obama said, well, it's not so much. And then the whole debate about, is this guy the qualified czar? And some of my friends saying he needs to be a medical expert. No, gosh, no, he doesn't. He needs to know how to work the system, like Homeland Security, to pull it all together. So, but I liked your take on it. You're talking more about the semantics in the name. Why don't they change it? What would you call it? The Ebola Queen?
Whatever you would call, I mean, even secretary if you had to. Secretary of Ebola is fine.
I agree with you.
But by the way, by the way, I saw a great cartoon on Facebook. I don't know one of my friends posted it there, but it was a cartoon about Ebola, and you know how everybody's freaking out about Ebola, and it had like 300,000. 450,000 deaths by tobacco and 300,000 deaths by heart disease. And then, you got like one guy in Texas dies from Ebola, and I said that about gun violence. The country's like, oh my God, I'm going to get Ebola. Just, stop it.
Yeah, my take's a little different. Like I mentioned when we talked in New York when we saw each other, I think you have to be on top of it. I'm glad with everything.
I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we view it differently there. However, I will say, I think the media just chomps on it like to no end. Start spitting it out. Come on, let's not stir the pot. I mean, there's people like ourselves, and those of us that listen to this show, because we're all above intelligence levels, we know not to let it get out of control. But for the common person, oh my God, I sounded so elitist there. Most common people watching the news get riled up, and it's like. Anyway, yes, we have a czar.
By the way, last comment on this. I keep trying not to have last comments, but the whole Ebola scare thing, if we hadn't had a death in this country, do you think any of these people would give a shit that 4,000 or 5,000 Africans have died? They wouldn't care. They don't care. Nope. But some guy in Texas dies, and now they're worried about their kids. They're not going to the playground with their kids.
Hey, man, my friend flew into Dallas from Vegas for a wedding the other day, and she said of the 100 people on the plane, now, about the 60 people on the plane, 10 of them wore different scarves over their heads. One was a true mask. The rest were like makeshift masks using I love it, like handkerchiefs and, like Harley ties and stuff like that. But
I hope they're all getting their flu shots. Get your goddamn flu shots. Enough with Ebola. Get your flu shot.
Anyway, Mark, I mentioned earlier that I'm no longer conducting business with this person because I closed my business. On your website, LGBTSR, when I used to be a contributor on there, or deputy director, deputy czar, whatever I was titled, I did a thing you encouraged me to do, the Days of Wine and Roses, because my last name is Rose, and I was building a restaurant about wine. And it's sad to say, I mean, I'm keeping composure about it. It was my decision to close, but I have to be honest, it was dictated by the economy and by the lack of people coming. It was a great concept, but I just want to say for those of us, I started it when I was about 46, and it was like, let's make a change. And the whole concept of the LGBTSR is always about, hey, take a change later in life. Many of us were downsizing our jobs, and I had some savings. But then you can still make that change at 50. You can make the change at 55. And I'm realizing now it's not so much like, what is my second career going to be? Let me be a restaurant owner, as much as that worked for me then. What works for me today? Right. And what works for me today, Mark, is, we didn't talk a lot about this. I announced it to you as one of my two first people to know. But what works for me now is to slow down my life, know that there's a cost to freedom. In this case, $100,000. I lost $80,000 of my savings when I set it up, and then it's costing me about $20,000 to get out of the lease that I signed. That's a whole nother story. But real quick, I told you before the show, I looked up some statistics, and small businesses in America really are about 70% of our business. We think corporate's everything because they make all the stories, but America is still constituted by small businesses, which employ more employees than the big corporations, and contribute to the economy immensely. So I still promote that spirit, but when you look at the raw numbers, in 1 year average, about 600,000 businesses open, but at the same time, about 500,000 businesses closed, and 50,000 closed due to bankruptcy. So, it's a wash, I guess, if you want to say that, but it's holding your own in these days, Mark, is really tough as a small business owner in this country. So I applaud each of you that's doing it.
Yes, and I'm not one of them, but we'll talk about that another time because just focusing. I'm trying to focus too, and I've been doing this for forever. But I may not want to write another novel. I will have written 4 novels and published 6 books in the last 2 years. By the time Christmas is here, and I'm just feeling like I got to take a break. I got to take a break. Maybe I don't want to do this anymore. Do what you want to do because time is passing.
No, I know. I love that. Real quick comment on your point. Yeah, I mean, like a week ago, you were all ready to pare back everything and just write. It's funny. 1 week can make a difference. Time is passing. Your turn.
I just got 2 more things. One is this was weird. I think you turned me on to it. Was the snail. In Taiwan, they discovered a new snail species, and it's a hermaphroditic snail. I guess it reproduces with itself, and It has male and female organs. But they decided to name it some Latin name, I don't know, but it's after marriage equality, after gay marriage. They thought that was a really good idea, but I don't get the connection. What does being a hermaphroditic animal have to do with gay marriage? I mean,
because the
good for them, but like what? I don't get it.
Because it's got both sexes, so it represents men and women. But moreover, the speed of it, the speed it took to get marriage equality is the speed of a snail. That part I get.
All right, I missed that part. I did not miss, however, this is my surprise topic. Did you see about the giant butt plug in Paris that got deflated?
Yeah, I saw a picture of it. I kind of couldn't read the story because it kind of grossed me out.
No, but it looked like it was a tree. It was a Christmas tree, but the guy said he was inspired by a butt plug. And so somebody punctured it and deflated it. But it did look like a butt plug.
I didn't know that. It's like pink or something too, wasn't it?
It was green.
But I don't understand. So he built it and they allowed it as a butt plug on this
No, it's a tree. It's a Christmas tree. But then he told somebody in an interview that he was inspired by a butt plug. And so somebody read it, and then vandals attacked it and stabbed it.
You know, butt plugs are interesting because they're usually unseen more than seen.
That's absolutely. You know, your coworker might have one in there. No, it's true. God.
Why do you plant? You know, when people plant seeds like that, then all day you're like looking around and wondering who's
watching how they walk, man.
Mark, I am not going to work tomorrow. I need to like calm down from this one. You know, speaking of walking around and hidden versus unhidden in the snail and all this marriage equality, I'm trying to make a nice segue there, but it does work. I find interesting. So speaking of work, we had some people come in from Lafayette and Nashville, and I don't know where else, but they're our new marketing team for the company I work for our region. And in meeting them, I'm so old school still. I look at them, I see if they're wearing a wedding ring, I hear if they have a lisp. I mean, I know this subject gets you mad sometimes, but I look at the sure signs of being gay, right? Are they thin? Are they well manicured? You know, on the women's side, you know, are they a little tough? Is it someone I want to hang out with and drink beer? Because I love my lesbian friends. You know that. I love my lesbian friends because they think more in kin, you know, more in tune with how I think than the gays out there. But anyway, I sized them all up, and the two guys are wearing wedding rings. And then after the fact, I talked to another old school friend of mine, a straight guy that I'm very close to, and he's like, yeah, I thought the same thing. But then in New York, the week before, I'm driving around and seeing people with rings, and some holding hands, some not. And I thought, you know, every day we're seeing news of Wyoming, Arizona, Alaska, most recent news about it. Now I'm to the point, Mark, where are they married or not? Not. Are they married to a man? Are they gay?
Because you can't tell anymore. I used to look at it to see if a man had a wedding ring to try and figure out if he was straight.
Exactly, and now you can't tell.
You can be married to a man now. And by the way, speaking of stereotypes, on my favorite new show is there's a tie-in here. My favorite new show is How to Get Away with Murder with the amazing, great Viola Davis. Thank God she's finally a star. But the gay guy on there is like not. He's not Cam on Modern Family. I've been waiting to see a gay character. There was one in Brothers, with the Sally Field show, where you wouldn't go, oh my God, it's another queen. You know, he's, I'm going to get in trouble for that, aren't I? Am I going to get
No, I get it.
But he's not identifiably gay. It's like Big Brother. Every season, the gay guy, you know it. Like the minute they walk in the room, oh, that's the gay guy. So it's really nice to see a character on a hit TV show that isn't automatically, identified as the gay guy. I really like that.
I couldn't agree more, and it's really refreshing to my comment about gay marriage to know that we're really to the point where we just, hey, is the person married or not? It doesn't matter if they're married to a man, a woman, a snail, a cisgender, a transgender. It just, well, maybe the snail. I know that gotcha, but I'm saying I love it. I really feel integration, and then this thing comes up with the Catholic Church. Kind of a new subject, but I don't know how you feel about it. Same day, one of the stories is 85% of young, millennial Catholics are in support of gay, lesbian, transgender, cisgender, queer rights. Then the report comes out that the bishops went and didn't include the language that the Pope had kind of been pushing for about loving your brother and sister. So I don't know what's going to happen. Did that irate you, or don't you care about the Catholics?
No, I do, but I also read that the final report does not include softer language on gay people. HRC already complained about it.
Good. We'll let them take.
I like
battle.
the Pope, but the Church can, whatever. I don't care about the Church, but I like the Pope.
Yeah, the Pope's comment was interesting because when it came down to the actual vote, they said the vote probably went against it because the people that were for it were upset with the modified paragraph. So the modified paragraph wasn't inclusive enough to them, so they voted against it. So therefore, maybe they voted, So anyway, that kind of vote all rumbled. But the Pope's comment was, "I'm just proud that we talked about it. We didn't skirt over it." He made a positive out of a negative. I'm sure he's not happy with it because he was supportive of the inclusive language, but at the same time, he said, "At least we talked about it and looked at it fairly." Your subject.
It's my final subject. Do you have a final one? I can't remember.
I did, and that's it. Except for I got to say, speaking of looking gay on TV, that little guy this week making a lot of news, Brandon Jordan, the 15-year-old that was behind the scenes on some newscast, and he started doing the applause routine from Lady Gaga.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, look at my Facebook. I posted it. He went into the whole routine. Gaga found out who he was and Twittered him. He's like, "Oh my God, Gaga's trying to find me." And then on October 16th, happy Spirit Day, by the way, which is the anti-bully day where we wear purple, he came out with a message on his YouTube or whatever with his purple shirt saying, "Don't bash." Minor celebrity for the day. Brandon Jordan, check him out, Mark. Very cute.
I will. I like that. My final thing, and we're at the 18-minute mark, is just about Brittany Maynard. Now, she's been in the news a lot. She's a woman. She and her husband, she's only 29. She has a really, she has brain cancer, but there's no hope, and it's a horrible death. So she and her husband moved to Oregon where assisted suicide is legal. And she's going to end her life on November 1st. And it's, there's been a lot of controversy, and she was on the cover of People. And I just want to say that I said it on my blog, that I completely support what she's doing. It's, she's not depressed jumping off a building. She knows that her end is coming. There is no other way around it. And she wants to die before she's a vegetable, before she's in agony and has no personality left because her brain has been eaten up by cancer. And I just really support that. And I just wanted to include that because there's so many people who are like, the idea that and a lot of religious people are opposed because I think it all comes down to fear of our own mortality. But to say that it's God's decision to, when her life ends, to me, that's an extremely sadistic God. Like, really. So God wants her to writhe in pain and be drugged into non-existence. I don't accept that. I don't believe that. I have no interest in a God that would do that. So I totally support her decision to end her life, and I think she's courageous, and God bless her.
It's an interesting story to follow, Mark. And let me ask you this: Did they ask her about her belief in the God thing and how that all relates? I don't
know. It's all online. She's got it.
I've got to look it up.
There's a video out there. She's on the cover of People. I don't know.
You got me excited, but I didn't mean to I'm just going to throw it out there. I think you know this, but I was asked to be a part of assisted suicide should a certain situation get harsh enough, and that was before it was legal in a state where it is illegal. And it's kind of emotional, but I'm just throwing it out there, and I agreed to it. So it's not unreal. It's not just one woman's journey. Many of us have been through it and just haven't talked about it.
Well, especially a lot of us our age from the AIDS plague. A lot of gay men were saying, "Listen, when it comes down to it, and I'm going to be graphic, when I'm shitting my pants, and I'm covered in lesions, will you help me leave?"
Yeah, that was my case. It was Charles, and he didn't want to live with dementia, So anyway, it's Hard Choices. Interesting story. I'm going to jump on it and read it, and definitely. Anyway, enjoy your day. I made myself a little pumpkin drink. I read a shortcut to it. You put a little pumpkin spice in milk, warm it up in the microwave a little bit, mix it in with your coffee, and you'd think you're having a Starbucks $6 latte.
Well, I'm going to have a good day. My friend Jerry's here. We're heading back to the city in the early afternoon. So you have a good day, too. And this has been our weekly side dish with Mark and Rick. And we'll be back in a week.
I see Jerry, and I see Frank. And I
see France. I see butt plugs in your pants.
On that note, y'all have a great week. Yeah, right, Mark.
Bye.
Have a good day, guys.